Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have as our special guest Supreme Master Ching Hai, joining us today via video link. Hello, Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Hello. Hello, and thank you.
And how are you today?
I'm great, thank you. And how are you? How's everyone there?
Well, we're having a good time here because we're having wonderful weather here in Chicago.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, God has blessed us today.
Good for you.
Supreme Master Ching Hai, it is an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I am most appreciative and honored.
It's my honor, sir, my honor.
Thank you very much. I sincerely thank you for accepting our invitation to interview you regarding your poetry book, The Love of Centuries, and other issues concerning our planet. I was also privileged to receive a copy of From Crisis to Peace and Celestial Art. Thank you so much for sharing these books with the world. Before we start the interview session, it would be wonderful if you could share with us some of your insights and wisdom.
You're too kind, too kind. Thank you, sir, thank you. And thank you, you and Commissioner Horton and your beautiful wife, Sherry. Thank you, all of you as well, involved in this beautiful conference. You're very kind. May God bless you so much, so much.
Yes, when I read your book and when I met your disciples speaking about love and peace, you know, I love God and I love my wife and I love my kids, but I love you also because you are concerned.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Because the way you're concerned about the kids are going to save our planet. And that's why we have to educate them on how to save the planet.
Yeah. Thank you for doing all you're doing. And my warmest greetings to you, Commissioner Horton, your wife, and everyone there. I'm very happy to have a chance to participate in this conference today and to be in the presence of such distinguished and caring people like yourself, Commissioner Frank Avila, Commissioner Patricia Horton, and Mrs. Sherilyn Avila, your beautiful wife, and so sweet, as well as all the concerned participants attending this discussion. First of all, my respect for your hard work and high moral principles that guide your endeavors and at the same time have shaped this great nation of America. You have each reached out and touched many lives in your own capacity. Commissioner Avila and Commissioner Horton have served millions of people through the internationally admired water reclamation district of Greater Chicago. It's a long, long title. It's not long enough for your merit, actually. You have done all to make sure that people have safe and clean drinking water while improving the environment in which they live. The people of Cook County are fortunate to have your dedicated guardianship and selfless spirit of service. And Mrs. Sherry Avila, in your diverse community roles, you have enriched the wholesome learning for many people. All your actions speak volumes of the genuine love and compassion flowing in your heart. You make a lovely couple. Knowing that we all care for people and the environment, we still may wonder about the best way to preserve it for our children and grandchildren, as you care so much about the future generation. Fortunately, we have people like you whose work offers an example of benevolence and noble values. We also have the teachings of sages past and present to remind us that being kind and virtuous are important, not only because this is right or pleasing to heaven, but because loving kindness and virtuous living protect us and our world. The wider we extend our circle of loving kindness, the wider we will be, the wider we will have the shield of protective, positive energy around us. So imagine this circle extending to encompassing all creation, including the whole planetary environment and all the living beings within it. Such a shield would protect us from any negativity or harm, be it climate change, disasters, war, economic depression, etc., etc. Being vegan, a word that in today's world means to live without exploiting the lesser beings, lesser co-inhabitant animals, is the most pervasive way to expand this circle of peace. Veganism is just the modern term for an ancient practice that matches the teachings of ancient prophets like Master Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Lao Tzu, the Buddha, Socrates, etc. All these great teachers spoke the way of peace and walked the way of veganism, the way of love for all beings. If we don't walk the way of loving kindness, we will widen the sphere of non-peace, of violence. We can see the evidence of this in the animal farms and the slaughterhouses, where there is no inch of peace for our innocent and aware animal co-inhabitants. Not only that, there is no peace for the countless wild animals who lose their habitats to the land that is cleared for the animal industry every day. Over 80% of the Amazon's increasingly deforested areas have become pasture for livestock, with the rest going mostly to livestock feeding crops. There is also no peace for the millions of people in need who suffer from hunger and thirst, which is only worsened by the massive resources consumed by the livestock industry. There is no peace for the neighbors of factory farms where hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, and bacteria-laden dust can create an unbearable stench and cause health problems that have both trapped people within and driven them away from their homes. There's no peace even for the consumers who are plagued by the rising incidence of meat-related diseases. As the vegan Dr. Neil Barnard has pointed out, 4,000 Americans have heart attacks every day due to meat eating. Every day, 4,000 Americans suffer heart attack. Can you imagine? That's heart attack alone, huh? There are other things that we don't mention. There's no peace for the animal industry workers even, whose bleak and hazardous working conditions today remain similar to those of the Chicago Union stockyards meat-packing days a century ago. I guess you have not forgotten. The Human Rights Watch calls meat-packing or slaughtering the most dangerous factory job in America. And in the end, there's no peace even for the few who financially profit from the meat and dairy industry. they must bear the dreadful consequences of their actions, if not in this life, then the hereafter. Because God has warned those who harm or kill animals that they should stop all this cruelty. It says so in the Bible. Stop all this cruelty, or he will turn his head away when they pray to him, because their hands are full of the innocent's blood. So, a completely peaceful world must be a vegan world where all beings live in peace and not fear one another. Therefore, I urgently call upon all the caring people to please be vegan, and also pray and meditate for world vegan, world peace. This is to protect our planet, our lives, and our souls with our positive energy. Please be vegan to manifest peace and health, at least in your circle of life, so that together we can lessen the violence and sorrow and increase happiness and love in our world. And this shall be the kind of tomorrow we could ensure for our children and all beings on the planet. Thank you. May God bless us all.
Thank you for those kind remarks. And you know, you mentioned the Chicago stockyards. Well, the effect that the Chicago stockyards had here in Chicago, the area we call it Bubbly Creek. And Bubbly Creek still is contaminated. The bottom of Bubbly Creek is all toxic.
Still?
Still in Bubbly Creek.
My God.
And we have trouble in Bubbly Creek in dissolved oxygen. Because, you know, we as human beings, we need air to breathe. Well, the aquatic life under the water, they need dissolved oxygen to survive also. And it is contaminated, and we have to increase dissolved oxygen in Bubbly Creek.
Oh, gosh.
And also, Supreme Master Ching Hai, what we do here in the Chicagoland area, the way we treat wastewater, and we discharge our effluent, our liquid, into our channels, it flows southwest into the Des Plaines River. From the Des Plaines River, it flows into the Illinois River. From the Illinois River, it flows into the Mississippi, and it flows down into the Gulf of Mexico.
Gosh.
So we, the people living here in Chicago, has an environmental effect all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico.
Jeez.
And
Yes.
that's why we have to be considerate about our water environment here in the Chicago great area.
Yes, sir. You see, just Chicago alone is like that.
Yes.
Can we imagine around the world, everywhere, even worse than Chicago, some places?
And we live in God's country, as I mentioned, because we have wastewater plant to treat our wastewater.
Right,
So this is God's country.
right. We are really harming ourselves by harming the animals.
Yes, because God created creatures, and creatures is everyone, including us. We are creatures of God.
Right?
A cow, cattle, pig, they're creatures of God, and we should all love each other.
Right, sir?
And again, thank you for taking time from your very busy schedule to be with us and sharing some life-changing information.
My pleasure, sir.
I am thrilled that you are here. From just hearing your opening remarks, I see we're in for a special night filled with stimulating, challenging, and inspiring wisdom and truth. So at this time, we are going to start our interview, our question and answer session. I will ask the first question. But in the meantime, I'd like to introduce David Maloney is present here, and Vincent is present here also to our conference, World Vegan, World Peace.
Thanks for coming.
A Supreme Master, in the Bible, the first sentence says, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth." If one reads through the chapter, it says that God made humans and made them the steward of the earth. If God made us the steward of the earth, we have to protect our planet.
Right.
Supreme Master, how do we protect our planet at this time in 2011?
Yes, any time, sir, not just at this time, but you're right, we are in a more urgent situation right now. And thanks for your question. I'm very honored to meet such a genuinely noble government leader as yourself, sir. First, I want to say that. You have been recognized many times for your honest, selfless leadership and wholehearted service for your fellow citizens. You even worked extra hard to produce hundreds of television shows with your beloved wife, Miss Sherry, about the environment, health, as well as culture and music on Chicago Access Network TV, one of the country's largest and widely used television networks. This is amazing.
Thank you.
And the shows can be watched on television and internet as well. You didn't do this for financial gain or for fame. It was out of your pure care and concern for others' health and happiness. I salute you and thank you and congratulate you.
Thank you.
In response to your question, sir, from all info and evidence gathered up to date, we can protect the planet best at this moment by adopting the organic vegan diet, by going green, and by doing good deeds, just as you are doing up to now and continue. In addition to instructing humankind to be stewards of the earth, the Bible, God, also described exactly how we should do this. In the first chapter, God said, "Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Then God also said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food." In other words, we humans have been given the entire plant kingdom to enjoy as vegans, while we care for our animal co-inhabitants peacefully. God say, rule over all animal. God did not say eat all the animals. Mark this in the Bible. It's very clear. We should follow the Bible's, God's instructions. Yes. That is how to be the stewards who protect and maintain an Eden planet. As this has been true since even before biblical times, the vegan way is more urgently needed now than ever before. Thank you, Commissioner Avila. And by the way, we also thank you for your work to reduce chemical pesticides in your district land.
Yes.
The way you are always watching out for people and the environment safety is also protecting the planet. We thank you wholeheartedly.
Thank you for your answer, and I'm glad that you mentioned toxic chemicals, because that is one of the problems that we're facing today, especially among our kids that are being born. Our kids are being born with diseases that adults have, and our kids are having it right now.
Yeah, because chemicals are poison.
Yes.
In the water and in the environment, affect their health and their formation, even in the fetus already, in the womb already. is a disaster.
And that's why I love you, because you're concerned about the kids.
Well, we all do, sir. We all do. I'm sure everyone on this planet who are parents or not even parents, we all love children and we all concerned about children. The question is, what are we going to do for them? Love in action. We all want the children to grow up healthy and be happy, not just wanting. Make it happen. Do whatever we can. That's how we love the children, the parents. Parently love. Action. Do something.
I have the next question, Supreme Master.
Please, sir.
Your disciples and I have been going out to talk about saving the planet. But in the long term, who will be around to protect our planet? It is our kids, Supreme Master. You are a supreme teacher. How does the supreme teacher teach the teacher to teach the children, so that when they grow up, they already know how to protect our planet?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Avila. Actually, all of us have to be teachers. We are all supreme teachers. We have the supreme power within us. Our Father, God, is the supreme teacher. We inherit this name. We are the children of God. So we all have to be the supreme teachers on this planet and anywhere else. For the children's sake and for them to learn from us, and for us to learn from the sages of old and new about the ideal lifestyle for humankind, so that we can pass it on to our children. We can draw from the exemplary lives of the sages who practiced the compassionate way of life. They never kill or harm animals. They live a vegan lifestyle that protects humans, animals, and the environment. They also taught about the power of being virtuous in saving the planet from any threat of harm. For example, we can talk forever. There are so many examples, but I'm just citing a few. Like Pythagoras, the Greek philosopher, has said, "For as long as men massacre animals, they will kill each other. Indeed, he who sows the seed of murder and pain cannot reap joy and love." The Russian philosopher Leo Tolstoy commented, "It is horrible. Man, without any need for so doing, crushes his lofty feeling of sympathy and mercy for living creatures, and does violence to himself that he may be cruel. The first element of moral life is abstinence." He means abstinence from violence, from animal meat. Now, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, also said, "Allah will not give mercy to anyone except those who give mercy to other creatures." Buddha advised all his disciples to be vegetarian. So did Mahavira, Guru Nanak, Lao Tzu, Confucius, Jesus Christ, and many more, sir. Very simple to live a noble life. There are 5 universal peace principles that is inherent in all religious order of this world. That should be taught by parents and teachers to the children from a young age and all ages. Anytime. Number 1, never harm or kill others, but protect and save lives. Number 2, never lie, but always tell the truth. Number 3, never steal, but give whatever can to the needy. Number 4, never commit sexual misconduct outside your loving partnership with your wife, your husband, your partner, your life partner, but to honor your relationship with loyalty and love and sincerity. Number 5, never use intoxicants, including tobacco, alcohol, and addictive drugs, but contemplate on the holy God quality. So you see, children are naturally pure and can easily adopt such concepts from an early age. In Vietnam, we have a saying that if you want to teach, then you teach the children since young age. All school curricula must therefore include these uplifting moral values.
Yes.
Values about living a life of loving kindness, of a noble human standard. Loving kindness to all around us. Then it will reflect back to us. Then we'll be happy and we will have true peace. Meanwhile, we can teach the children by being an example ourselves of loving kindness. Like what you're doing. You are the example for your children. An example speaks more than 1,000 volumes of words. Thank you, Commissioner Avila, for your vegan example as well.
And thank you for your kind remarks. And we just had our first granddaughter, and she's 4 or 5 months old. So my wife, 7 months now. and we would like her to grow up in a planet that has love and passionate and caring.
Amen, sir.
As you just mentioned. Thank you very much for such an inspiring answer. And now my fellow Commissioner Patricia Horton will ask the next question.
Well, first of all, thank you, Supreme Master, for giving me this opportunity to ask you a few questions.
Hi, ma'am.
I consider it an honor to sit here before you.
My
I have
honor.
learned so much. I've learned so much, even by my colleagues and his wife. And I've just learned to grow. I'm not a vegan yet,
You
but
will
I'm
be.
moving towards there, and I'm happy to say that because before I used to harm our animals by eating them. And now I've changed.
You did not
And I'm
know.
still moving forward.
You did not know. Thank you. Thank you. You're making my day. Thank you. And you are so beautiful.
Thank you.
Lovely smile you have.
And you as
Wow.
well.
So kind. You're
I just
very
thank God for you because you've given us so much insight and so much direction and information that we can live by, and we can not only live by, but we can share this message with others. Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you. Well, my first question is this. We all know how precious our water is. As a commissioner of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago, I am pleased to see in your book, From Crisis to Peace, The Organic Vegan Way is the Answer. You have a section on water shortage and use, and we have identified the livestock industry as the biggest threat. Supreme Master, can you elaborate on this issue?
Yes, Commissioner Horton. Gladly, gladly. And I'm also honored to know you as well. You're a very kindly lady.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking for the sake of others, as surely everyone here and you yourself are already aware about this urgent issue, especially you, Commissioner Horton. It is estimated that about half of all the water used in the United States alone goes to raising animals for food. It takes at least 20 times as much water to produce meat and dairy products compared to plant-based products. For the same amount of calories, and several studies have found that beef requires 100 times more water to produce than grain. Just to get an idea of quantity, it takes like 2,500 gallons or nearly 9,500 liters of water to produce just 1 pound of meat, but it only takes 25 gallons to produce a pound of wheat. Madam Commissioner, I heard that you traveled all the way to Bangladesh even to learn how to help impoverished people and to enhance your own noble work. You must have witnessed firsthand while traveling what life is like for people who don't have enough safe water to drink, to apply to their crops, or even to keep themselves clean and not sick, for their children even. Children are even more vulnerable, more sensitive to the unhygienic environment and unclean water. But most of the water used in the livestock industry is to grow the grains and soya beans, again, to feed the animals, not humans. So while this staggering waste of water for both water and food is occurring, 1 billion people in our world lack access to safe drinking water and go hungry. We all know about the current starvation crisis in Somalia, in the Horn of Africa. Such tragedies could be minimized or even averted if everyone became vegan, because the vegan diet saves nearly 70% of our precious water resources. 70%. The livestock industry is becoming a bigger and bigger threat to our water supplies, which scientists warn are shrinking worldwide fast due to climate change. Also, what caused climate change? Animal industry as well. So we are in a devil's cycle here. Also, animal raising is the top cause of water pollution worldwide. You know that. In the US alone, livestock produce 130 times the excrement of the whole US human population. 130 times more than the whole US population. Yeah, that is 87,000 pounds generated per second. This excrement, this polluted waste. However, it is not really treated at all, despite the fact that animal waste contains about 160 times the bacteria and pollutants than human sewage even.
That's right.
So in the US, according to the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, runoff from both animal manure and fertilizer for growing animal feed is the #1 source of pollution in rivers and lakes. Now we are drinking this water. Just imagine we're drinking this thing all inside our beautiful temple. We take it all this pollution in every day. And if we treat it, then it has more chemical into our water. That is also not good for our body either. No wonder we're sick, we're ill. And the healthcare problem in America is also a very burden for the government to take care. Just look at the Mississippi River, whose runoff is known to be the source of the gigantic dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yes.
That's right.
Commissioner Avila had just mentioned that, you see, the things from one district from America running through and then go to elsewhere also, not just stay there, which scientists just announced is currently 3,300 square miles in size, the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico, but forecast that it could exceed 9,000 square miles this year. That is 4 months from now. It could triple the size, the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico. And then I don't think it will stop there. we can imagine it will grow and grow and grow. And then we will have nothing but dead zone in the future. Dead planet. To make a comparison, Madam, the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago, which you are in charge, does a wondrous job of treating the wastewater to maintain the health and safety of over 5 million people in Cook County. 5 million people?
Yes.
Wow, the lucky 5 million. Through impressive engineering. Yes, go ahead. They deserve it, yes. Through impressive engineering, high-class facilities, and diligent management, hard work. Meanwhile, the Food and Water Watch Organization, which Commissioner Avila honored with his 2010 Excellence in Protecting Our Water Environment Award, stated that factory farms with 812,000 pigs in the North Carolina, USA county alone produce as much untreated manure as the sewage from almost 15 million people, equivalent to the Chicago and Atlanta, Georgia, and metro areas combined.
Yes.
That's right.
And all of this waste worldwide is untreated, not just there, directly entering our environment, rivers, lakes, streams, oceans, polluting our drinking water sources and creating dead zones as well. By the way, I salute you, Commissioner Horton, not only for your wholehearted dedication to bring people safe water, but for all you have done to help improve less fortunate people's lives. I heard that you won national recognition, the Presidential Award for Poverty Alleviation for helping disadvantaged women in Chicago. Yes. Through the Women's Self-Employment Project.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, it was called the Women's Self-Employment Project. We helped over 5,000 women start their own business.
Wow.
We used a Grameen Bank model in Bangladesh.
Yes.
We won the President's Award for helping to alleviate poverty. And I did research along with Professor Muhammad Yunus,
Yes.
who won the 2006 Nobel Peace Prize
Yes.
for what we did. Thank you.
I'm so honored and grateful. Yes,
Thank you.
To
Thank you,
hear
Supreme
about your
Master.
loving, dedicated, hard work, Madam. May God bless you for all the hope as well as practical help you give to those most in need. We can surely be inspired by your caring example toward fellow humans and stop the livestock industry from destroying our precious water supplies. Thank you for your question, Madam Commissioner.
Thank you. And
God
that's
bless
where I receive my passion to fight every day for our environment and for our water.
But
Thank
you look so sweet. You don't look like a fighter. But you fight all right.
Thank you.
God bless you.
You gave us a lot to think about. It's really wonderful. And thank you for sharing the truth. Now, my next question. The United States is facing a huge budget deficit, and the government is considering cutting Medicare costs as a part of the solution to reduce the budget deficit.
No.
Some people oppose the reduction of the Medicare program. Earlier, there had been a heated debate on the health care reform as well in the United States. It seems most of the people have already focused their attention on medical treatment. How can we change people's thinking to live in a way to prevent us from getting sick rather than treat our health after we get sick?
That's it, Madam Commissioner. You're right. Prevention. That is very crucial for people to know. Prevention is better than cure, and it saves a lot of money than the government don't even need to cut, because we will not spend so much on health care anymore if people gone vegan, and if you turn vegan, you live healthy immediately. It has been proven through clinical research and medical proof exams. We should have the governments and responsible authorities refer people to the right information and to propagate healthier lifestyle for the benefit of humans as well as the planet. The government can do a whole lot by giving people references through newspapers, broadcasting, television, radio, and using networks such as the media or internet to share valuable information about the preventive way to living a long and healthy life. And in making use of this power of the media, I again congratulate the Commissioner and Mrs. Sherry Avila for their television shows that help people to become more aware of the environment and their health, so that they can directly improve their own circumstances. Similarly, our government leader can also share the medical research that clearly highlight the benefits of a healthy vegan diet. We know now through science that the vegan diet can reverse and eliminate all types of disease, even cancers, diabetes, and heart diseases, etc. I mean, reverse immediately in many cases. People just stop having heart attack or heart problem. As soon as they turn vegan, the heart problem stops. This is like a miracle. It's no miracle. Yes? We just have to eat scientifically. We don't put poison into our body and expect it to run well. Just like we don't put water in the car and to replace petrol. Or mix it with petrol, then of course our car will have problem. Yes, this is all like engine car. We have to treat it nicely, wisely, scientifically. The government can also collaborate with forward-thinking professional organizations such as the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, based in Washington, D.C., the capital. They live next door. The government should discuss with them. Whose members promote the vegan diet as effective, proven preventive medicine. You can ask them for all the proof you need. Staying healthy is everyone's dream, but we have to do it. Don't just dream about it, not just talk about it. Make it happen. Yes, make it happen. Go about to put back health into our body. So you are absolutely right, Commissioner Horton. People have to know that. Not only our health, but our planet's future depends on it. The government is in the right position, have the right power to start connecting people to these resources. Thank you, Madam. I get all excited when it comes to people's health and happiness because it's right there in front of our eyes. Everyone can be healthy and happy. Why don't we just do it, you know? I'm just so excited because it's so easy. Why people have to suffer? Lack of information, wrong lobby, wrong advocate. Please turn around. Help people to stay healthy and happy. Then the country grow also strong. The country will grow strong if you have strong people, healthy people. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Star from Chicago.
And I will continue to take this message forward. And thank you, and everyone here who has been a great example. Thank you, Supreme Master Ching Hai, for sharing your thoughts.
God bless you.
And they will forever be in my heart, and I love you.
Thank you. God loves you. It's easy to love you.
And now, Supreme Master Ching Hai, my lovely wife has a question to ask also.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
The better half. Good evening, Madam Sherry.
I just wanted to start off with saying that I probably started being a vegan when I was about 10 years old, and the teacher said, make sure there's a green and yellow vegetable on the plate.
Wow.
And I went home and told my mother that, and my mother was very like, what? But since then, now my vegetables are green, yellow, red, and all the colors of the rainbow, probably.
Wow.
But I know that I feel better when I eat a lot of vegetables.
Yes.
And I follow the diet. And I know that I sing better. For anybody out there who's a singer,
Wow.
keep that in mind.
Wow.
And I know that my overall well-being psychologically is better.
Yeah.
There are just so many wonderful, honestly, benefits from eating vegan that it's just endless almost. So I just wanted to share that.
You are a
before
good
I begin my
example.
question.
Your skin look good, your eyes sparkling, and your hair is full. Good example, madam.
Thank you. Thank
You've
you.
been vegan all this time. Can we hear you singing later on? Short, maybe. Or maybe now even.
She is a good singer. She loves the Irish songs, and I love the Irish songs also.
Yes.
Well, we're going to have some wonderful singers here that it'll be fun to hear. So.
Oh no, but it's different. You and him sing one short song. It's just a minute.
Oh, let's get on with the question.
Okay, ma'am. You're too modest.
I
Yes.
think the bottom line here is for everybody, we all want to be healthy. That's
yes.
the bottom line.
Sure.
And
sure.
your words that you shared made a big difference, will make a big difference now, even as we speak, and as Patricia said, go forward.
Yes.
I was particularly touched by the poem, Please Don't, from your poetry book, The Love of Centuries.
Oh, it's
I
a
have
long
a
one.
personal connection to that poem because my father served in the Philippines during World War II.
Oh,
And I got to know a combination of the sufferings that he suffered there and continued to suffer even here when he was back in the United States.
I'm so sorry.
In your poem, Please Don't, you portray how war is against human nature, which I truly believe. I would like to read a few words from that poem, and so I am going to read those now. Please don't go, leaving an elderly mother and innocent siblings. There is no real hatred among us human beings. Battlefields have but guns, swords, and hostilities, while here a warm house welcomes your company. Please don't go, wreaking suffering on others. There's no real animosity, only thirst for power. Countless corpses lie shriveled to expand an empire, whereas here only love, peace, and safety thrive. Taking lives, we'll have to pay with our own. How can we rejoice in causing demise and separation? Only boundless, lasting compassion shall make us great among all creation. This is very emotional to me.
Oh,
There
I
are many
see.
conflicts in the world right now, as we all know.
Yes.
And the words of this poem speak very strongly about our current time. How can we make people understand that war is not the solution to conflicts? Can you explain the best ways for countries to protect their uniqueness, spiritual and moral values, and material possessions?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mrs. Avila, for your genuine concern for people in turmoil right now. Thank you. Yes, I also feel a little emotional. The poem was written the way I felt in my heart. If I could just kneel all day, all night, begging the world to stop the war, and if that would help, I would do it. because I also, like yourself, I also experienced firsthand the suffering of the people during the war. Yes. I was born in Vietnam, as you know, right? We call ourselves civilized society. We are in 21st century now, and we have developed all kind of techniques and technological invention, and we call ourselves advanced, developed. And we do kind of look down upon the Stone Age humans, as barbarians, warlike creatures who made all grounds their hunting grounds and would kill each other for woman, man, love rival, food, water, or territories, etc. We should question ourselves, what age are we in now? And why we are acting like in Stone Age in some areas. I am sorry for your personal pain, and may God bless your father and all the victims of war, soldiers and civilian alike. The best way for all the countries to preserve themselves is by helping fellow nations to grow and develop. Not by war, not by killing or destroying humans, fellow humans, causing so much loss, pain, and suffering on all levels, as you know it. The United States policy has many good points, mind you, like respecting and welcoming the talented, the brainy people, the genuine good humans, the experts, and the spiritual genuines. Also expanding the land state by state with peaceful means. That's why your country expanded now. In the East, the ancient political strategy has always been to control the nearby nation and to befriend the faraway lands. So countries in the East, for example, have always expanded and prospered despite occasional periods of setback. Mind you, I have to tell you, this strategy originated from China since ancient time. They want always conquer the neighbors and befriend the faraway lands. Actually, the policy has some good logical point. Not the invasion part, but the part that you have to be strong yourselves. Your nation has to be strong. Because the neighboring countries would not ire your nation if you are powerful and strong, naturally, yes? So for peace sake, that is to protect our land and people, we should be strong. Maybe we should have muscle, so to say, to ward off invasion. But to engage in war with faraway lands would be costly, too costly, as you know it, and difficult due to distance. This the ancient strategists already knew. It's all written in the War and Peace Strategy of Chinese policy. If you don't believe me, you can read it. Because Sun Tzu Bing Fa means the military strategy of Master Sun. It's very famous, okay? If we engage in war with faraway land, even nowadays we have airplane and all that, distance don't mean much, but still it's very costly. And the supply is difficult and lacking in military or food or familiar nutrition for the soldiers. The unfamiliar surroundings, the different languages and backgrounds, the traditions and climates, etc. The soldiers cannot be used to it. Soldiers will be more fatigued because of all that, less confident, more fearful, more vulnerable and lacking morale, while the so-called enemies are in their own elements, knowing their steps, knowing every corner of their country, and can be more in control of all combat advantages. It would be even better I would say the best, of course, if we do not so-called control the neighboring nations by force, but instead offer benevolent assistance in all near and far corners of the world. We should use our power and financial privileges to extend humanitarian rather than military help or even action to those weaker and developing nations. Then enemies would fade. You see, Abraham Lincoln, what did he say? I destroy my enemies by making them my friends. Even your past president know these lessons. The enemies then would fade. Peace would be possible and the global economy will stabilize and bloom. And soon our nations will enjoy the same prosperity and peace, dignity and freedom as family members of the human race. The people in the world will respect and cooperate with each other, or with the powerful nation, not out of fear of strong military force, but out of respect and love for any country, however strong and rich, because from their heart they love and respect this country and the government that offering them help. Meanwhile, these countries cannot develop in their own space and time while preserving their traditions and protecting moral values. And the country who helps, you see, also profit because they will not have to spend so much money in war. And we can learn from each other. No matter how developed or underdeveloped country, we always have something to offer. And the helping hands will also receive manifold benefits, from economy to peace, from happiness to heaven blessing. And since charity begins at home, I would like to say that I appreciate your many endeavors in your own community to help it flourish and develop, such as through your church or by introducing people to cultural beauty at one of your local art museums and the Irish American Heritage Center. And before that, as a Girl Scouts leader yourself, with gentle, wholesome vegan teachers as yourself who makes positive impacts, we could have a more peaceful world. We should have more people like you. Thanks again, Mrs. Avila.
Thank you.
Ma chérie. Thank you, ma chérie. That is French for my darling. Your name is Sherry, similar to ma chérie in French.
Yes.
Okay.
I just went to a cross-cultural, cross-racial seminar last Saturday, and it was brought up that through love, that would help us to try to understand each other better. But it was a very interesting seminar, cross-cultural, cross-racial, through the church.
Yeah, I hope there are more activities and more people like you who really get down to work with the people, you know, not just sit and talk.
Well, when I came back home to the church and I said to the congregation that I attended this cross-cultural, cross-racial seminar, I think some of you would like to go to this. Several people came up to me and they said they would like to go to this.
See?
So I think that when the opportunity is there, that there are others out there who are open, willing, ready to learn. So,
Right.
and I actually have your poetry book with me. This is The Love of Centuries.
Oh.
Frank and I really love the book, both the illustrations in it as well as the words in it, and the variety of poetry that's in it. And so I have another poem.
I'm glad you like it. Another poem.
And so I'm going to read the touching
You're really
poem.
a poem lover, aren't you?
Yes. My daughter was the founder of the Poetry Club in high school.
Oh, really? Wow. She takes it from home.
So this particular touching poem, which is actually an environmental poem,
Yes.
is Please Wake Up. And as I said, it's from The Love of Centuries. Oh, world, wake up. And behold, rivers and mountains are in tumult, burnt forests, eroded hills, desiccated streams. Whither do the poor souls go in the end of all dreams? O heart, relent your sobbing, for my soul to rest in long nights. Tears dried up, and I'm wordless, weeping in pain for the tormented. O night, please kindle your source of light. Shine the way for those human souls in darkness. Be serene for my soul to still and enter emptiness with the miraculous celestial melody. O day, stir not sudden unrest, for peace to repose in our very hearts. For humankind struggles to subside, for the true self to gloriously shine. So I was particularly touched by that poem because it is an environmental poem, and we have become very actively involved in the environment. And so that inspired my husband and me to continue to help people to renew our planet. And although the world is lively and advanced, many of us did not realize that we were asleep. I think when Frank and I go to some of these conferences and we find out more and more about the toxins and the pesticides and so forth, we realize that we're definitely asleep. How did we come to this slumber? That's the question, I guess. What are some of the ways to awaken people? Will we ever know our true self in order for it to gloriously shine, as your poem states? Thank you, Supreme Master.
Thank you, Madam. I have something to tell you, which I did not tell anyone before. When I read that poetry together with the Please Don't, I was very, very in a physical bad shape. If everyone told us, or the Master of all told us that we are the children of God, then we are the children of God. Why should Jesus lie to us about our origin? Why should Buddha tell us the untruth about our greatness? So we have to believe it. We are the children of God now. So to go back to be the children of God again is so easy. But since we have come to this slumber, as you have put it, we just have to wake up. There are two things to do only, very simple. The physical and the spiritual. Physically, we have to clean ourselves in order to recognize ourselves again. Suppose your daughter been lost in the street for many days or many months, and she has been in hardship because she's without home, without parents. And when you found her, you cannot even recognize her. She wouldn't even recognize herself the way she was before. She'd be dirty and unkempt and tattered, maybe very sick and trouble. Yes? So, first thing, clean her, bath her, give her new clothes, feed her, so that she becomes strong and healthy again. Now, so similarly, to go back to our true self, there are two things to do, physical and spiritual. Physical, clean ourselves by turning back to the compassionate lifestyle, God-like lifestyle, heaven-like lifestyle, yeah? No harming, no kill others. Everything is said in the Bible, or in the Buddha's Sutra, or in Mahavira's Sutra, or even in the Quran. We misunderstood the prophets when we kill others. Even for God's sake, we are not to do that. God never teach any of us to kill. The first commandment in the Bible is, thou shalt not kill. That includes the animals, because God did not say thou shalt not kill man, but can kill animals. No, it was very clear already. I have mentioned before. So now we have to return to the godlike. She has to behave now like Miss Avila. the way she was before. Even if she has been on the street, maybe bad influence or something, met some bad people, and maybe misbehave and not behave nobly, or like the daughter of the great commissioner and madam like that. She has to return to family life, a good girl lifestyle now. You see, same. So physically, we clean ourselves by keeping the 5 peace principle. Not kill, not steal, not tell lie, not committed wrong sexual relationship, except with your partner, and do not take poison, like intoxicants, drugs, alcohol, cigarette. These are poison for the body. Meat is also poison. We know it. We have to eliminate all this in order to keep our body clean and healthy, to receive the strong, powerful grace again. Because a sick body cannot assimilate good vitamin or nutrition. It could even turn into poison. Yes, if your stomach is poisoned somehow, and you drink milk, it gets worse, for example, like that. Or if you eat something, you get worse. Yes, the food turns into poison. So now, first of all, physical, we clean our house, clean the temple. Live the way a God child would live. No harm in any, just helping, being benevolent, being virtuous. So, you see, the 5 universal principle is in all religions, more or less modified, but it's the same. We keep that 5 precepts. That's the one thing. Be vegan. It's also included in that 5 precepts, because do not harm or do not kill means indirectly as well. If we don't harm the animals but we eat them, then other people has to harm or kill them for us. So the vegan diet, including the first principle. So physically, we keep the 5 peace universal principles. And then we clean and pure, ready for God's light again. Secondly, spiritual. This is a harder part. But it's not hard if we can find the guide who help us. Nowadays, it's not difficult. We have internet, we know which gurus teach what, which school teach what yoga, teach what meditation. There's no excuse to say that we don't know. We know everything. We just don't do it. That is the second part. Now we're ready. We clean. The temple is swept and washed and mopped, everything clean. Now we go find the guide to show us how to see the light within again, the light that mentioned in the Bible, that the light which shines in darkness, but darkness know it not, okay? Know you not that the light is within you. Know you not that the kingdom of God is at hand. You see that? Okay, now we have to find that guide, the guide that knows, the friend or teacher, whatever you call him or her, a guide who already been enlightened, who already see the light. I don't mean the flashlight here, the electrical light. I mean the light inside you. The light without any instrument. When you close your eyes, your whole body flushed with light. Light that more than 1,000 sun. You are that. You are that light. You are that God quality. And there are also the music of the sphere. You can hear forever, and it will soothe your troubles, heal your bodies, enlighten your souls, make you closer and closer to God. So very simple. Physical, clean the temple. Spiritual, find the guide to show you how to reconnect with yourself. Because you are great self. You are the children of God. Everybody say, you are the children of God, I'm the children of God. But how? What? You have to prove it to yourself that you are the children of God by contacting God. And if you cannot do it yourself, just go find somebody who knows how. Mostly, I have to say that I think all the teachers teach these things free of charge. Because it's your property. So nobody costs anything anyway. Suppose you forget your glasses in your pocket, and I say, hey, your glass is there. Look in your pocket. And should I charge you for that? For the guidance that your glass is in your pocket? No, no. Therefore, all these teaching are free of charge, ever since time immemorial. So, madam, that's it. Two things to do, physical, spiritual. There are many teachers, yes, who teach different ways. Yeah, just anyone could find what he is looking for. When you're ready for spiritual guidance, you will find a teacher, or the guide. We call it the guide anyway, the inner guide, yes. The outer guide will guide you to the inner guide, and then you can talk to Jesus, talk to Buddha, to Prophet Muhammad, whomever you would like to contact, and contact direct to God. Why listen to anything? Why read the second-hand experience from anybody? Like, okay, John see the light, John hear the trumpet. You will see the light, you will hear the trumpet. It's the same. You will see God like a burst of fire, yes. You will hear God's voice like the sound of many water, like the sound of trumpet, etc., etc. It's mentioned in all kind of scriptures, Buddhist, Christian, the Granth Sahib, the Hindu scripture, etc., etc. Just have to find it and verify it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. Mind, body, and spirit.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
That's right, sir.
Sherry and I derive great pleasure from the insight you have about people and the world we live in.
Yes.
Here is my next question. People in the United States are one of the most hardworking people in the world.
True. True.
And yet, our economy has been experiencing downturn in the last few years. So, is it true that the economy does not just depend on how much you work, but something else? If so, what is that?
It is true, sir, that the economy doesn't depend on how much we work and earn. It also depends on how much we spend or waste. Yes. Right now, you mentioned that the Americans are the hardest working people in the world. I have to testify that. It's true. When I was in America, as long as you have money, you can buy anything 24 hours, 7. Not in every country like that. Some country, they have siesta and they close the weekend and they close at certain hours. America, no. Even in a small town, you can buy things, in the Home Depot, for example, you need desperately things always ready for you. Anytime you can buy anything in America. So they truly are the hardworking people. I had impression that what you said is true. But the thing is, all this earning and tax paying go where? Many places that is leaking to your hard earning tax money. Subsidies for meat industry. Otherwise the meat industry will go bankrupt. And the hamburger will not cost 99 cents, but will cost at least $30 or $50 a piece. That's a leaking one. And the U.S. is spending too much money on military operation on the far land, as I told you before. I am sorry. I am very sorry. But I have to tell you the truth because you asked me. And I so much love America because they honor me so many times. At least 10 states of America give me honorary citizenship. And the key to the cities and states and all that. I'm forever honored and grateful by the Americans' government's recognition. And many of your presidents, at least 5, 6 presidents, written congratulation note to me and given me award, certificate, presidential award, thing like that. I am not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just trying to repay your kindness by telling the truth. You see, because the policy needs to be turned around. as President Obama has stated recently, that we should not use money for the war in foreign land anymore, but to use the money for the benefit of the people at home and the needy instead. I'm glad he has said that. I'm glad he has realized that. Because that's where the money is running to. And fast-paced. Because besides the irreplaceable cost to human life, war puts a great financial burden on the nation. Every day, as you know it yourself, I'm saying this for the sake of others who don't know, every day the U.S. has been spending at least $720 million for the war in Iraq alone. One day, in one country alone, $720 million. It is also estimated that the wars in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan will cost the U.S. at least $3.7 trillion in another 10 years of long-term payments and interest. So even if your citizens, the Americans, work in 24 hours 7, even if you are the richest country in the world, no matter how large your budget, it will run out. Would you agree with me? The poor American citizen, they cannot put up with all this. They cannot catch up, no matter how much they're willing, no matter how deep they reach into their pocket. They have nothing in there anymore to reach to. So it's not the American citizens, it's the policy that had to change. We should not do it as habit. As a proud nation, always go into war and beat the whatever, that from everybody else. The way we're doing like this, it gets bigger and bigger, more and more resistance, and more Americans die also in foreign land in the prime of their life. Look at all of them. Look at all the soldiers. You saw them on TV. How beautiful they are. The best of Americans. The best looking guys. Any girl in the world would like to marry one of those soldiers. They're so good looking, aren't they? Beautiful. So beautiful, so pure. Their faces are so pure. And so intelligent. We cannot afford to even waste this kind of human resource. If the Americans are young and beautiful and intelligent and handsome like that, go out or dying all the time like this, what will you have left in the future? Because able young men are all gone out, get killed. Either that or you kill other countries' youth and beautiful and able people. Either way is not correct. You see, plus we have to spend extra on the after effects of the war, such as to care for the veterans or for another many years. And you can't, sometimes the budget is not even allowed to care for the veterans. Many veterans became even homeless. It's not fair that they sacrifice their youth, their prime time for the country, and then coming home become a homeless beggars. This is not the dignity for Americans. Please think again. What we can do with all that money. And of course, some of the most painful costs of war are not able to be paid financially, but emotionally, psychologically, environmentally, and spiritually. So the economy and the sense of accomplishment for the hard-working people of America would benefit greatly from the monies being spent on good causes, like President Obama mentioned.
Yes.
We should spend this money on the things that help improve everyone's quality of life. Trillions of dollars, my God. The American don't need to work anymore. Just sit there and the government take care. If we have all this money, yes. If we don't spend in war, then the American is sit pretty, yes. And with all that money saved and all the hard-working Americans, your country will be so powerful that even you don't have to go to any war, but you weaken your own power economically, manpowerly, and karmically, okay? This I cannot prove, but I can only tell you logically that If we spend all the money, then we have to go back in elsewhere. And where goes the dignity of the great nation like America? First, charity begins at home. We have to take care of our home. We have to have a stable foundation before we even take care of the world. We could provide in abundance for children's education, parents' health care, the things that help improve everybody's qualities of life. You know, early retirement, more hobby, more happiness, upliftment of the disadvantaged neighbors, and investing in green technology or organic farming. In short, prosperity for everyone to enjoy their God-given lives on earth. Thank you for your thought-inspiring question, Commissioner Avila. I just have to tell the truth.
And thank you for your thought-provoking answer.
I hope it helps, sir.
And, you know, and I agree that if we spend that money on organic farming,
Yes, organic farming.
that would help us and the world also.
Yes, and people will be healthy.
Yes.
And the planet will be saved.
Now,
Because the organic farming also absorbs 40% CO2 in the air also.
yes, that's true. You know, when we treat wastewater, at the end it comes out what we call biosolids and liquid. Well, the biosolid is fertilizer, and when we give it to the farmers to grow their crops, they have greater yield per acre using our treated waste.
Wow.
Our human waste is treated, as you mentioned. The animal waste is not treated.
Yes, understand. Yes.
And that's what's causing the problem, as you mentioned, down in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yes.
We have that dead zone down there.
Yes. I'm glad you are doing something. It's helping your community, and then other county, other city could learn from your method or your examples. Thank you. Yes.
Now, Sherry will ask the next question.
Yes, ma'am.
When I was a Girl Scout leader, part of the program was a cross-religious, cross-cultural invitation that we would get to know somebody, you know, from another culture, from another religion.
Right.
And I was very fortunate because I knew Amber. Amber was Muslim.
Oh,
And Amber invited us to her home,
yes.
and all my Girl Scouts came to her home, and she helped them to understand the Muslim religion.
Yes.
And she helped us. She also had a baby at the time, and she fed my Girl Scouts, and she was very generous and kind to them. And that brings me to my next question, Supreme Master Ching Hai. The freedom of religion is guaranteed by the Bill of Rights in the United States Constitution.
That's right.
And in the past few centuries, many faiths have flourished in this country, thanks to that Bill
Yes.
of Rights. However, after the tragedy of 9/11, there has been a tendency of discrimination against Islamic citizens. Also, there has been an increase in the number of Islamic schools so that the Muslim children would be treated with respect and dignity in their own schools, because they weren't being treated with respect and dignity in the public schools. What can people do to stop prejudice and to promote love and peace among all people, regardless of religious background?
Yes, Mrs. Avila. It's not only in the United States, but there is kind of a wave of counter-Muslim in the world, including in the European Union. Hence, you see that many new laws coming, you know, like the law that discourage or forbid Muslim ladies to wear full gown to cover the face, for example. It has not been like that before, just recently. It's because I think the government also afraid that any extremists could disguise themselves in the garb of this full woman Muslim and do some harm to the public. That's another thing. As one more thing is they want them to integrate into the country where they stay, to be like everyone else. You know, like we like to know each other, we like to see what each other look like. I also, not for religion, but I would have loved to see the lovely woman behind the veil also, because I've seen some of them. When I was still married with my husband, some Muslim lady come to have treatment by him, and when they unveil the veil, they're very beautiful inside.
Very beautiful eyes.
Yes, beautiful eyes, yeah, and flashing eyelashes, you know, very, very attractive. God created us so beautifully. I would have liked to see them, you know, man, woman, without covering. Yes. In the West, people are also afraid that if you cover yourself, that means you have something to hide. That's why they're afraid. And especially after the 9/11, you know, it affects not only America, but affect the world as well. So, you see, I share the same wish with you. And we all have to exercise help each other, tolerance and understanding for the different stages of development in various nations. We should try to reflect on the common ground that we all have, we all share. That is love, universal love, and love for the family. We all have, whether Muslim or Christian or Buddhist. Love for our family members, our pets, our friends, yes, our teachers, our countries. We all have this kind of love, Muslim or not. We all have all this common ground that we all share. We all have the innate nature within us to love thy neighbor and to help them when they are in need. So we just have to be loving, friendly, and let each one be. Let each one be in peace. Saying that, however, I would like very much also to see the people of Islamic faith really go all the way to take responsibility.
And Supreme Master Ching Hai, our next question is by my colleague, Commissioner Horton.
Yes, colleague.
That was an amazing answer. Thank you,
Oh, really?
Supreme Master.
I'm glad that it helps.
Yes, we can do better about respecting all faith, and we will.
It has to be mutual, you know, mutual.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Thank you. I have a question about health. We see that government leadership has recognized that the overwhelming decline of health and obesity stem from the diet of our youth.
Yes.
U.S. First Lady Michelle Obama, working with the United States Department of Agriculture, introduced My Plate, which replaces the old food pyramid. In My Plate, the image of a plate is divided into basic food groups: fruit, vegetables, grains, and protein, which is a smaller circle, with a smaller circle on the side for dairy products.
Oh.
This seems to be a start. Can you comment on how government can have a greater leadership role in influencing people to eat healthier?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Horton. The government is in the best leadership role to help people eat healthier, which to many doctors and experts means eating vegan food. As we mentioned earlier, the government must work with the media to direct people toward good information sources. The U.S. government's My Plate campaign that you mentioned was launched by First Lady Michelle Obama is an improvement from the standard diet of the past because it emphasizes more plant-based eating than ever before. It is to be applauded and strengthened. I very much admire her. Yes. For example, it indicates that about 3/4 of your plate should be vegan, 1/2 fruits and vegetables, and another 1/4 grains.
Right.
But the best, of course, would be that governments recommend the recipes for compassion as well as health, moral virtues, compassion, godlike quality. Yes. Health is just a byproduct of a compassionate lifestyle. Now, we don't always have to eat vegetable. It looks all green and yellow like that. No, nowadays we have vegan sausage. It's delicious. Vegan steaks, vegan pork, vegan chicken, vegan eggs, vegan whatever you want. And it's delicious, delicious, delicious. Yes, and everyone would enjoy it. If they have all that, they would never bother to go to meat again because it tastes even better than meat. And you become healthy almost immediately. After 1 week, you feel big difference. Not heavy like before. You feel lighter, more easy to think, more easy to concentrate, less sleepy, more efficient at work. Now, in the animal-free organic vegan diet, we will find everything we need, 100%. 100% for health, for moral standard, for blessing. Yes, for blessing. Because that is the diet that goes with heaven standard. So heaven will bless us no end. Animals also will bless us no end. And the Mother Earth will bless us no end. Because we go with the flow. If we go with heaven standard, we will meet heaven. And we will see heaven at the end. And even now, in this world already. To help people eat healthier, governments can simply provide facts, since there is a lot of scientific research already available that highlights the hazards of meat and dairy consumption. The government must also be courageous enough to help reverse outdated myths about the meat and dairy industry, abolish all this wrong information and bad lobby. Thank you. Such as the ones saying protein and calcium must be obtained from these animals' base source. That is wrong. For example, there are studies clearly showing that consuming cow's milk rather than reducing would increase the risk of osteoporosis. Yes, and today's research informs us that plant-based foods provide the perfect amount of balanced protein for human needs naturally, without the side effect like cholesterol or sickness or bacteria stuff. Instead of subsidizing the meat and dairy industries, the government should pass along the real cost of producing meat, which would help people think twice about their purchases. If the government subsidizes not the meat industry anymore, then the meat price will go sky high. And if the government subsidizes the organic farming, then all the healthy fruit and vegetable will be like almost free for the people. So they can compare the price, they buy what healthy for them, and it tastes good as well. If the environmental cleanup needed for all the pollution from livestock waste is factored in as well, then the economic cost alone would be too high. All the tax money also leaking there as well. Yeah. Ultimately, Madam Horton, your government policies must promote and subsidize organic vegan farming and stop subsidies for animal industry. You see, subsidize life and health, not disease and death. Subsidize organic vegan diet means life. Life and health. Organic farming, life and health. Subsidize life and health. And ideally, Madam, governments should ban all animal products, just like they ban tobacco and smokings. Yeah? The people rely on the government to lead them. That's why we call them leaders. Yes? And if the leaders spoke, people will listen. That's why you are leaders. Leaders must lead correctly and righteously. If you know what is right for people, you are the leaders, you lead, you tell them. In Vietnam or China, we even call the government or the government leaders parents of the people. As parents, you have the right to ban whatever not good for your children. Just like at home you ban violent video, sex video for your children. You have the right to do that. And people will thank you for it. So why don't we strive, to ban all harmful, poisonous, lethal products, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, including meat and other animal products. All the information about vegan benefits and animal products' harmful effects should be posted everywhere, on billboard and government internet website, make a billboard outside, advertisement sites everywhere, on website, in all possible media and possible corner of the world. And obligatory posting in all markets, food stores, etc., etc. We have to do something, not just wishy-washy. As parents of the whole nation, the government is responsible for the health of their subjects, like parents to the children. As an official yourself, Madam, I thank you and commend you for always thinking of the best interests of the people. You are the real example of a mother of the nation. Michelle Obama is a real example of mother of the nation. We call them mother of the nation in Vietnam or China. Mẫu nghi thiên hạ, meaning the mother under the heaven. That great title is bestowed upon the queen of a nation, or the first lady of the nation. It's the same. She's the queen of America right now. You see, the government, we call them parents of the citizens. Now, you are taking people's best interests at heart, whether in making a new policy or maintaining an efficient budget. And I wish that the leaders in charge of food and health will likewise make righteous policies and use of the tax dollars wisely for the benefit of the people. Now, in your work assisting the disempowered people, you have proved that with a little help, even the most helpless can become self-sufficient and develop themselves. And you are one person. Makes such a big difference for thousands of people. Imagine if the other leaders, the whole nation's leader, are doing something with the real people interest at heart and not care about their supporting finance money for the next election or whatever. I am sorry to be so blunt. Now, similarly, with just a little jump start from the government, people will be empowered to lead longer, healthier lifestyle and morally fit lifestyle. I don't think any nation would dare to eye your country if your whole country, people healthy, virtuous, morally fit, and know what's right from wrong. And thanks to the leader of the government, the leading role of the government, you see? Leader have to lead, and have to lead righteously. In China or Vietnam, we call the king, now president. Yeah, we don't have many kings anymore, so president is like king. We call them son of heaven. 天子, 天tử, means son of heaven. Means you represent the Father in heaven to take care of your subjects, to take care of God's children on earth. So we call them son of heaven. Yeah, they liken the king or the president of the country as the son of heaven. So the son of heaven has to rule, must, I wouldn't say should or please, I say has to rule as a son of heaven, as the best leader for the people, always with people's interests at heart, no matter what it costs. And it won't cost much. It won't cost as much as war. It won't cost as much as conflict within the countries. Yes. And in the long run, It will save a lot of money because the health benefit will be no longer necessary. People will be more educated and behave and grateful to the government. Then you no need to have army even. People will just love you. But you see, I also thank the U.S. First Lady and government profoundly for the veg diet promotion. They're doing their best. I mean, they are the first even. The first government, the first leaders of the nation ever do this openly, so actively. Yeah? And U.S. government is the first government to openly support and declare it. I salute the courage and wisdom and goodwill. Nevertheless, more should be done. Stronger measures should be implemented. Thank you.
Thank you, Supreme Master
Yeah.
Ching Hai.
Even lawmakers, should consider passing a vegan diet bill as soon as possible to save lives and the planet and save your financial crisis. Be veg, go green, do good. That's all I ask. 3 things. Be veg, go green, do good. Do I ask too much? No. Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too, Commissioner Horton. And I ask that for your own good even. Be veg, go green, do good. That's all we have to do. And okay, if you become enlightened, good for you. If you don't, that's enough for heaven already. Heaven will bless you forever.
But we must do right.
I don't mean
For the
you, I mean the planet. People. Yes, we must. We must, madam, we must. There's no other choice. There are only 2 ways to do things. The correct way and the incorrect way. There's only 2 ways. Simple. I am a simple person. Okay, thank you. Any more questions?
Yes, our last question.
Yeah, I got all excited and passionate about these things.
You just finished talking about the government.
Yes.
Now, I have this last question. It's
Yes,
really
sir.
simple. The Supreme Master, the organic diet is the answer. Our planet and fellow being will indeed benefit so much from it if we all change right now to a more compassionate and loving diet.
That's
the
right, sir.
plant-based vegan diet.
Right, sir.
Supreme Master Ching Hai, the last question of the interview session. Religion shapes the hopes, dreams, morals, and values of an estimated 85% of the world's population. How can we promote partnerships between religious groups by putting aside ideological differences and combining their voices to create the greatest influence on political leaders for them to address environmental issues? Supreme Master Ching Hai, can you help bring the leaders of all major religions together for this purpose, for the good of the planet?
How am I going to do that?
I've been trying to think for a long time, and I just don't know how.
Good question, sir. I don't know, sir. You are very, very kind. I'm only passionate about the human's life and the value of our planet and the people. But I'm not sure if I could do what you ask. I'm only doing what I can, yes. But this is a good question, sir. Yeah, I try my best all the time. And I know you do your best as well. Such as, through your work, you have organized an interfaith discussion last year about the role that different religions can play to promote environmental stewardship. You see, you have more power than I do, a secular power. I'm just a meditation teacher. This care for the earth and our fellow inhabitants can be expressed in terms of the golden rule that we mentioned earlier, the 5 principles of peace, universal principles. That is logical, harmonious principles for everyone. It doesn't have to be religious. Everyone be it Buddhist, Muslim, or even atheist, if they follow the 5 golden rules, universal peace principle, then life would be paradise on earth. Yes. Now, the first principle of ahimsa, meaning non-violence, which is to avoid harm to any other beings, be it human and animals. So now we try to remind everyone, regardless of their faith, to return to this timeless ideal. That is why I have called upon the world's spiritual and religious people to meditate and pray together for world vegan, world peace. If we have world vegan, then we will have world peace as well as the outcome. When we don't kill animal anymore, then we don't kill each other. Thank you. Now, I'm glad to see that it was helping. You see, in our television, they call it the Supreme Master Television. I have tried to arrange that all the religious scriptures, main points, has been aired together.
Yes.
Yes, then you can see that. And that's the best I can do. So people can see that it's ridiculous to fight with each other. My religion, your religion, say the same thing.
Yes.
Yes. So, if anyone, after reading all this common ground of different religious orders, still want to fight in the name of Muslim or in the name of Christian, I think they just want to benefit themselves. There's no excuse to do that anymore. Yes? I also agree that religious and spiritual leaders should work together and let people know that it's time to change. That the planet is in urgent danger now, and we must be more loving in our actions, whatever religion we belong to, and be vegan to save it, whatever religion we belong to, or non-religion we belong to. There are quite a few other leaders, like His Holiness the Pope also tried to gather some different faith, Muslim people, to come to him and discussing things. And I'm glad that it has worked out in some areas, yes. But all religions belong to God. We all say we worship God. Then why fight for God? This is ridiculous, really. We have to grow up, that's it. We have to grow up as adults and talk together instead of using bullets. Everybody can do that. What heroic action in that? Go out and blow people in the market, everybody blown into pieces, including children and harmless women. What heroic action I can see in that? I don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't see any hero in these kind of actions. For example, I don't see anybody heroic in pulling the trigger and terminate another person's life. He's not born to die like that. Whenever God wants him to die, he dies. But it's not by such a violent means like that. So religious and spiritual leaders should recognize that this is not a request for them to compromise their ideology or to glorify the other faith. But it is because the principles of being loving and kind is really central to every religion. Don't you think?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Then why do we act contrary? Huh? It's another thing. You see, also, the religious leaders must personally change.
Yes, I agree.
Be our compassionate vegan role models and thereby demonstrate a most powerful way to love all and protect all on this planet. Thank you, Commissioner Avila. And thank you all of you. Thank you all of you for your supportive applause. I feel I have friends sitting there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for all your answers to our question.
Welcome,
Supreme
sir.
Master Ching Hai, it has been an amazing experience to meet and converse with you. It's quite a privilege for Patricia, Sherry, and myself to have been given the opportunity to ask questions and exchange ideas with you.
The privilege is mine, sir. The honor is all mine. I'm so grateful that you honor me this way. Thank you so much. I have tried my best. Since I know your invitation, I have been thinking day and night until now to think of the answers that would really benefit you and your people. I'm not just trying to talk or convert you or people into my way of life or anything. I was sincerely, honestly, genuinely concerned that if any word I have spoken through the grace of heaven should benefit people, your people or any people who are listening. I was really deep into prayer and meditation to try so that the words will sincerely make an impact in the souls of the world's people and your country.